There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's coming. Well, wait a minute. I refreshed. Still says waiting for a picture.
I don't know. It's weird.
Wait a minute. I'm getting a circle. There you are.
Okay.
All right, you're live.
It's weird, man. My thing is not it's not showing anybody in there in the live view.
Let's see, I think. Is there anybody?
There might not be. I mean, I'm sure there's not anybody else here right now, but
Yeah, it just says one. That's weird. All it says is one watching now on the bottom, so I guess that's just me.
I gotcha. Yeah, it seemed like it was slow loading in. Yeah, you finally popped up and mine populated.
Oh, okay.
I gotcha.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll show you what I got, and then if anybody else pops in, that'll be cool. Otherwise,
right.
just let her eat. But
hey, y'all to make me a moderator in case somebody does something stupid.
what is how do you go about that?
I don't know how to do that. I've never done it with anybody.
How you can put people in timeout?
It'll be actually in YouTube. It won't be in. Hey, look at that. It won't be in StreamYard.
Let's see.
It's a little bit of feedback or something.
It's probably where I've got the phone on.
Oh yeah, probably. That's right.
Trying to figure this thing out. Let's see.
This will be really exciting for people that watch it in a replay.
Yeah. Guys just figuring it out.
That's right.
How do you make a moderator?
Click on my name. Actually, in YouTube, not StreamYard. Or you have YouTube up?
Yeah, I'm going on it right now.
Okay. Hey, have you sold a Wii Sports disc without just in that cardboard sleeve, no directions or anything?
I don't think so.
No. I was looking through Soul Comps and gosh, they're like $25 for one just in the cardboard sleeve. It may have been a little better condition than mine. Might
Right.
have some scratches on the back, but it plays.
I don't think so.
Listen to that sucker for $19.95.
As well.
Yeah. It's funny listening to myself.
What is that? Oh. Did you get a wrench?
Yep, it just popped up.
All right, cool.
All right. Oh, there's two people watching now for somebody else.
All right, I'm gonna shut it off.
All right.
Okay, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I picked up a few things today. It's kind of crazy because I'm like, man, everybody's nervous about going out, but I'd already had plans to go to a couple picks today, so I'm just gonna show you a few things that I've seen out today and some things that I brought home. So first off is this HP 45 ink. That's $25 is what it sells for. And then I got a couple games. I did get neither one of these are super great. I think the this Phantom one is about $10-12, and Black Ops is usually around $8. This is the dual pack, so nothing great. There is one more, but I think I left it in the car. Must have fell out of the box. I couldn't find it in here, so we'll get to that. And then I got these two items. This is the Bentley Super 8 movie camera. And then there's also the, it's crazy. It kind of looks like a, I don't even know. In that case, when I first looked at it, I thought it was a tape gun because it looked like a tape gun. But any rate, that thing was it's got the attachments and the instructions. Look pretty new in the box. There's extra pieces that go with it. So that thing and the movie projector. This is in the box as well. It's not completely brand new, but it wasn't a plastic. It Super 8 movie projector. So you'd actually, I guess it shoots it out the screen, but this thing opens up. You can load the thing inside. So kind of cool. Neither one of those are, like I said, are super valuable. The projector was like all over the map. It's like anywhere from $15 to $35. The movie camera was like anywhere from $9 to $35. So I'm actually thinking about putting them together and just making a lot. But if anybody's got any suggestions, they want to leave that there, that'd be awesome. So that was at the thrift store that I went to, and she's the only thrift store that I've found open. She's a lady I've been to a lot, Miss Shirley's place. And so I got all those items for $20. So hopefully we'll see what I did, how it turns out. The other thing I did this morning was go to an auction. So the auction I went to got a few cool items, not a ton, but I got some post-auction picks, so that was good. The first item I got was these cards. These like vintage playing cards, and there's yeah, the Enderman came in from Kevin. It's on one of my previous videos. I'd send him a thank you because Kevin has been great for me watching. Commonwealth Picker. He's helped me with some items that I wouldn't have known about otherwise if I hadn't watched him. So in this pack, I haven't looked at any of these things up, to be honest, but I know that some of these playing cards usually can go for decent money. Someone else had told me about that. A couple of these are U.S. Army packs, and then there's like Northwest. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see if I can adjust this light so I don't have such a glare on all the items. See if that's a little better. Yeah. It's hard to hold the camera exactly where it should be. I got mine up once I got a new computer. Nice. Yeah, it's cool. I like the anime in a man. Forward to anyway, there was a whole bag of cards for $5. That's what I got that from the auction for. So hopefully there'll be some value in those. Something new. Also from the auction, I got this vintage. It's like a top. It actually has like, I guess this thing would sit on the counter and do that. The top. So so this topic, actually the guys spin around on the inside. It's like a seal and got with a little umbrella. So kind of cool. When I got it for $5, but on the bottom it actually says, gosh man, this glare is killing me. Yeah, I haven't listed the cards, and honestly, those I hadn't even looked up. There was one cool pack. I don't know if you play cards, but this is a mark deck, Magic cards. So who knows what those will do. I'm going to be looking into this stuff the next few days because that was probably my last hurrah as far as picking for a little while. Yeah, so hopefully those Magic cards will turn something. It's not the Magic cards in the sense of actual Magic cards. Magic cards in the sense of they're marked, so you can do magic tricks. Welcome, Las Vegas Thrifts. Glad to have you. This next item was an item I was actually the only one to bid on this. It's a Sunbeam Mix Master. It actually has, I'm sorry for the glares, guys. It is terrible in here with the glare. Hard to see what I have here. But anyway, those has the bowls and the mixer part. What do you call those things? The beaters. There's actually 3 beaters in here and the bowls, 2 bowls. This thing's all over the map too. That Mix Master, I'm seeing comps like from $20. The pieces in this thing, the beaters themselves sell for almost $20, and then the bowls sell for almost $20. But I plug this thing in, it does spin, it works. So hopefully it'll do well. So on the auction, I got those 3 items, $5 a piece, and then you have to pay a seller's fee at that particular auction. And then I know these guys. I'm actually trying to get them to let me film with them and pick, because they find tons of cool stuff. They're mostly into antiques, so that they let me in the back because they know that I'm collecting. Not collecting. I always joke people. I said I collect until it sells. That's what I do. But they know that I'm into video games and electronics and things like that. So they let me in the back. I got this Nintendo Maverick 2 controller, and this thing is in the box and in great shape. So we'll see how it does. It looks brand new, or somebody's cleaned it up real good. Otherwise, of course, I won't be listing it as brand new. I'll be listing it in the box, because you know how people are when you start trying to list things that's new that ain't new. And I try not to take that risk, because that's a good way to get a return for sure. So I got the Maverick 2, and then I got some Atari stuff. Actually, a whole box of it. I'm not going to get too in depth. It's a load of it. So this is the Atari stand, the Game Center. So if you guys remember these things, if you look, and it's pretty crispy, it needs to be cleaned. In this thing, you got the game slots that you can hide the games underneath. The system actually will set on top. So this system is in need of a little TLC for sure. So I'm hoping it works. So that's a 2600 Atari. And then it also had a 7800 that was in there. 7800 Pro systems. So those usually are pretty decent. I mean, those can go upwards $50, $60. Also in the box, it had a Sega Genesis Power Stick. These are good. They turn a decent profit as well. I'm not absolutely sure what it'll go for. I'm thinking somewhere around $20, $30. And it had paddles, 2 sets of paddles. It had a Genesis controller, which is good. And for the younger people in the room, you probably have no clue what this thing is. But for us that played this system, you guys know what this is, right? Where you'd actually have to screw that into the back of the TV, and then you ought to have to get your plug in right there. So most my kids have no clue what that is. So it has that in there, and then it also has these controllers for the 7800. So these are unique joystick controllers. They have the buttons on the side. So it is one of those things that's kind of funny to reminisce and go back. So like I said, a couple of those in there. And actually, I haven't had a chance to go through all those games. There's a ton of them in there, though. there's probably, I would say 25 games, Atari games. We all know that, Atari's not the greatest when it comes to video games, but we actually have a decent amount of games in there. And some of the cool stuff is, so this is a manual. Yeah, a manual for there's manuals for some of the games. So that's cool. Not something you run across quite as often. So it might bring some value to some of the extra games. There's even gosh, man, I wish this glare was not killing me like that. Atari catalog for games. So who knows what'll happen with that. I ended up getting the whole box of Atari stuff and the extra controller. I think it was an additional $25. So at the auction, I ended up spending about $42 and got all the stuff that you just saw. So that ended up being a pretty good pick for me today, auction-wise. And then the other pick that I went to, and I actually went to this one first. So I've got some unique things in that I'd love to show you guys and get some opinions on. One of the first things we picked was the guy had some comic books. These are comic books are one of those things that's really, it's kind of a tough market, to be honest, because comic book collectors are very selective and picky. They're wanting things that are clean, or certain grades. So what I found in this comic book collection was a #1 Green Goblin. This is probably, it says 1995 on the back. It's kind of funny. It has X-Men. Let's see if we can get it in the light. Hard to see that. X-Men Chef Boyardee. So that was on the advertisements on the back. I would love to have a can of that X-Men Chef Boyardee. I bet that would sell pretty good. But this is Green Goblin #1 in that Spider-Man group magazine. There was also 2 collector packs of these X-Men. So there's, gosh, man, 2 collector packs of that. So hopefully there will be some value in those. It looks like there's about maybe 4 to 5 books in each one of those. Hadn't had a chance to really look them up. I know I think the Green Goblin was going for $8. And then this is also Midnight Suns. I'm not sure exactly what this comic is or how old it is. I'm sure it's 90s if the rest of it's 90s, but that was there as well. So I got that. I got, trying to get one of these open so I can show it to you. We live on the Outer Banks, so these things are something we probably see a little bit more often than most people. But nice little packed item here. Can get in here too. It kind of looks similar to something we would get in our shell shops here. This is made in the Philippines. And what it is, it's a shell. Gosh. A shell elephant. Kind of hard to see in the light. I wonder if I can try to shift this light off. Let's see what happens. Too dark? Or is that good? So, shell elephant. So I got about, I think there's 7 of those, 6 or 7 of those that I picked up. Maybe not that many. Yeah, there's 5 of those in there. He also had these. He said he sold a couple of these, and they actually sold pretty well. Just little baby dolls. They're called Friends Forever cloth dolls. I don't know where they even came from. They're made in China, so they're not super old. They were in that box as well. A couple DVDs, nothing spectacular. Born on the 4th of July. and Rambo. So both of those stream, so not super valuable. This item, GE flash bulbs, magic cubes, the cube flash bulbs. There's also this one must have fell out. Anyway, that's there was film in here, and it's all in the bottom of the box now. But there was 4 canisters of film, so that was at this sale. 4 canisters of film, a Field and Stream. You know, it's got to be older. It's got tobacco on the back. So that's one of the things that's there. Magic cubes. Yeah, it's funny. Then we also had in there, I found some random video games, which actually was a great video game controllers, which is a great find for me. These are the Super Nintendo controllers. I actually have a Super Nintendo. It also has the power supply for a Super Nintendo. So there was 3 of those. Trunks up, good luck. Yeah. So those were in there as well. We also had some just crazy. Once again, this is an item for the young people in the room. A little discovery is, what is it? So this is how we used to play games. So one of those things, it's kind of interesting to see. A little blast from the past. And then these are computer games, nothing spectacular by any means. I just picked them up because they were there in the stack. And there was one Xbox Doom game. That thing's probably about $4 or $5 if I would guess, just without looking. So, yeah, the old floppy disk. I remember in the 7th and 8th grade having to do everything on those, actually store data to a disk. It's crazy. Then there's also a laptop cable that was included in that. And this item was a good find for me. Needs some cleaning, but it's actually pretty decent value to these. Jim Oro. This is that ultrasonic. It's for jewelry, for cleaning. And so, man, that thing, it needs a good scrub job. But when I looked this thing up, it actually had pretty good value. I think around $70 or $80 is what the sold comps were on that. So also picked up on that same thing, this replacement ribbon for, I believe this is for a typewriter. That's what it looks like, or a word processor. This actually fits for Sharp PA 3100 series, which I believe is a processor. So then I also got, let's see where I put it. Right here beside me. Typewriter. Yep, I thought so. Got this item, new Vicon. This is a video camera, oddly enough, kind of crazy. But this thing plugs into, this was manufactured, you can't see it, I'm sure, on the video, but January 1985 is when this came out. This new Vicon. I'm not sure the value. Actually have not looked it up, but it should be good. We'll see. I'll say this item. This is, and it's very hard to see. I do apologize. Once I get over 1,000 subscribers and they let me do lives off my cell phone, the picture quality will get far better, I'm sure. But this is video cassette recorder, and it's actually like a portable job that you would, if you can see, if I can get it in the camera in, this right here. So this camera that I got actually plugs into this unit. So this is a portable video recorder that actually uses full cassette tapes. So that also came from that same, basically what I went to is, it is a state warehouse, basically like a clean out situation. The guy's got 7 more days to have everything out of there. So the pricing was good. And then I'll show you, let's see, there's another camera. I'm like surrounded by this stuff right now. There was another camera that I assume is left in the car, or it's in another box. But I'll probably want to get a chance to show you that. Now let me show you, take it all the way back to the 80s and see if you remember this brand. Now, Tink, I'm sure you have seen this around, and I know Mr. Ken from Island Homesteaders knows what this is, but Jordache jeans. So there's probably about maybe 15 of these jeans that were in a tote. All of these were brand new with tags. So if you see, still got the tags on it. The only thing, they're mostly smaller sizes, and they also have the unhemmed. You guys remember having to do that. So we got a load of those jeans. Like I said, there's probably at least 15 pair of those. So a load of them. They're all new with tags. And then we get into some other retro clothing. Was that an age crack? I remember them, and I'm younger than you, so I know. Look at this. The tag is off of this. We look at this thing, Wrangler corduroy, green ones. This one, and they got a little bell bottom action on them. So if you're looking at that, definitely some retro clothing for sure. So I got several pair of those. The Wranglers. This one here, I believe, either is unbranded or it came off. But same thing. This has got that flare leg on it. Then, see, I could have been real mean and said, didn't you guys wear these? But I'm not going to say that. This brand is Edgefield. What size are these? They're too short for you. 28-34 is what these blue ones are. So there's several pair of those as well. There's also, vintage Wrangler tags. So these things were cool. A whole tote of those. So I have, like I said, numerous pairs of the corduroys. There's a few extra colors. Like there's several of the khaki color ones. These are 2732s. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Brittany's my daughter. She's actually 6'2". So if you're watching this, that's why we laugh about these. They'd be like shorts for her almost. Swish, swish, swish. I remember that. You ever run? I don't know, Nana. Really, I don't. On the clothing, I'm such a newbie to clothing. When the guy showed me those Jordache jeans, I just could not walk away. I saw one of the sold comps of them at $95 and new with tags, and there's not really any out there. So if you have suggestions for clothing, that would be a great help for me. I've tried Poshmark before and never really had much of I just can't get things moving on that. But I pretty much sell on eBay for the most part, but I know that there are other places that clothing might do a little bit better on. Vintage clothing for sure. This yeah, all of these are Wrangler, swish, swish, swish. Yeah, definitely would be that case. They're all corduroy. There's a red pair as well. So different things. If you guys have suggestions as far as clothing, let me know. Or if you're interested in any of those things, might could work out a deal. So the bottom line number when I left out of there, I had spent $55. So that the hip hop sites new to you and mostly do eBay. Yeah, that's me. I don't do a lot of clothing. I've tried a few things, and you get 50 questions. You know, can you measure this and measure that, measure this? So I'm not real hip on it. I have been looking at some things as far as making video of or watching videos about measurements. So I'm trying to do that. So those are some items I'm definitely looking at. But yeah, that's mostly what I got. Like I said, so 55 on all of that stuff from the estate sale pick. And I did have a couple other items that I picked up yesterday. I'll just show you real quick. Some LeBrons. Like mostly if I do clothing, I do these kind of things. I've got some LeBrons and some Jordans that I picked up. And neither one of these ended up being as great as what I thought they were. I think one of them goes for about 35. One of them goes for about 75, maybe 65, maybe even 50. So put a yardstick next to the legs across the top. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've done that on some other things, use the yardstick method. But so that's about what I got as far as picks. If you go through this video, even on the replay, and see some things that stick out to you, or you have any suggestions, I appreciate any input because all of that could be good. But if not, I'm probably going to jump off here and see if I can look up some of these things and list them and see if we can get some quick sales. So it did end up being a pretty good pick. I was actually surprised at the auction. There was more people than what I thought would be there, but there ended up being probably 30, 40 people there at the auction, which kind of surprised me, but it's out in the country, so it's not like it's in a big city or anything. Most of these places I went to today, like when I went to that estate sale pick, we were the only ones there besides the guy that was there. When we got ready to leave, there ended up being like 4 or 5 other people that showed up. Yeah, coughed. I tried to do that at the auction, but it didn't run anybody away. No. Actually, it is funny today at that auction, the auctioneer coughed and he's like, guys, it's just allergies. It's just pollen. I'm not sick. He didn't want to run anybody off, but wanted to make sure he got the auctions. But I think I got a little dust off the Atari is what happened to me. Because those things were pretty dusty. So one of those things. Well, I do appreciate you guys for watching, and hopefully watch the replay, and good to see all you guys. Thank you for I was surprised too. They're talking about running a big yard sale event there next week. We'll see what happens. But like I said, most of those guys, old farm guys, like they're not too concerned for the virus, I guess. I'm one of those guys. I'm pretty resilient myself, so I definitely want to be cautious, but not overly paranoid, I guess would be the word. So it does give me some more items to list if we do get shut down in quarantine. So at any rate, well, I appreciate you guys for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and cut things off here, and thanks for coming. I'll try to start doing this a little bit more often, but try to do it in a way that is a little more heads up. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck.